In our final video of these three new sections, we're going to have a look at grading. Now, grading is obviously very important, and two things to note. Firstly, the grading grid that you get from this link is the same grid that we use to mark all of the projects, so you get exactly the same grid that the teachers get. And it is the same grid that is used for all of the units in Key Stage 3, which means that as students develop and get to know the grid, it means they can apply that knowledge directly to their work in later units, which is obviously very important. And again, it all comes down to this ability for students to be responsible for their own learning and indeed in control of their own learning, so they can choose the areas that they want to develop and easily set their own targets as they progress. The grid itself is made up of 6 different skill sets, and each skill set has 5 different grades, or 5 different levels, that can be achieved. So we have audience, and then design, presentation audience and presentation skills, evaluating, and timekeeping. So if we have a look at one of these sections, the idea behind the grid is that each level builds on the previous one, so that you can easily see as you go down a particular column how well you're achieving. And the idea is that every student should, using this grid, be able to work out how many points they're going to get in each category, and therefore how many points they're going to get overall and the grade that they're aiming for. So in this case, in design, you can see that for no design you'd get no marks, but if you've handed in a rough design that's very bare, you would get 1 mark. And if you've done that, then you can move on to the next level of the grading grid and see if you've completed the next part. So you've handed in a complete design, but no parts have been explained using colours or annotations. Again, a student might think that they've achieved that, so they move on to the next level, which tells them they have to annotate some parts of the design to explain their choices, and the annotations must be written in clear English. And if a student looks at that and knows they haven't annotated it, then they know at that point that they're going to get 2 out of 5 for their design work, and if they wanted to get a higher grade or they wanted to increase the quality of that design, then they have a clear guide or a clear target as to exactly what they need to do, which in this case would be adding annotations to explain how they've put their image together. As they go through the various levels, you can see it builds on each time, so now we have to annotate all the different parts. The annotates are clear and detailed. And the final section is that a design is detailed enough so that it could be completed by someone else without anything being left to question. So this gives students a lot of control over how they achieve different grades, and it makes it very easy for students to set and develop their own targets, which allows them to progress in their own way.